Director of Public Prosecutions, Nurdin Haji, has directed the Inspector General of Police to investigate remarks made by Kericho Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, which DPP believes were targeted at an elected leader during a rally in Eldoret. Also tonight, the contentious political parties bill is now in the Senate after protracted sessions in the National Assembly. Will it be a case of reason or emotions? We debate that tonight on News Tonight. But first, these are the stories making headlines. Tonight, Kenyans count losses as most part of the country experiences power blackout.
Kufikia saizi hatujapata mteja hata mmoja kwa sababu stima inapoenda wateja wengi hupotea.
Also tonight, the political parties amendment bill is officially in the Senate.
Na hakika itapita, lakini tunataka ipite kama kila mtu amepata nafasi.
Will it be reason over emotions, or will senators emulate members of the National Assembly when debating the bill? And activists' petition to have Deputy President William Ruto resign ahead of the general election could snowball and send many public servants packing before vying for elective positions. Faith Muikamba is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, the push by activist Okia Omtata to have all state officers seeking elective posts in the August 9th election resign by the 9th of next month could not only affect Deputy President William Ruto if it sails through. The success of the petition could also deal a blow to governors such as Uasin Gishu's Jackson Mandagor, Muranga's Mwangi Wairia, and Busia's Sospita Ojamong, as well as their deputies who are now eyeing other elective seats. But how much will the political landscape be affected should the suit succeed? David Mudoka interrogates tonight.
With Deputy President William Ruto treading a political tightrope, pending the determination of a suit filed by activist Okia Omtata at the High Court, which seeks to force him to resign before seeking nomination to run for president, the second in command is not alone. Governors and their deputies who are also eyeing other elective seats in the August 9th contest will now have to monitor the progress of Omtata's explosive petition with their fingers crossed, hoping that Section 43 of the Elections Act that exempts them from resignation like all other state officers running for office is not suspended. In his argument, Omtata states that the section is discriminatory to other public officers such as cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, just to mention but a few, who have intentions to throw their hats in the ring and have to resign at least 6 months before election. County bosses who could be affected should the court rule in Omtata's favor include Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandago, who's eyeing the county's senatorial seat, Muranga Governor Mwangi Wairia, who's keen on battling it out with DP Ruto for the top job, and Busia Governor Sospita Ojamong, who has said he will be on the ballot for the Teso South parliamentary seat. Deputy governors who have set their sights on filling the shoes of their outgoing bosses have not been left out and could tag along when their bosses tender their resignations before the 9th of next month. They include Homa Bay's Hamilton Orata, Migori's Nelson Mahanga Mwita, Kisi's Joash Maangi, Kakamega's Philip Kutima, and Makueni's Adelina Mwau. Others are Kwale's Fatuma Achani, Trans Nzoia's Stanley Tarus, Uasin Gishu's Daniel Chemno, and Narok's Evelyn Aruasa. Meanwhile, other public officers who are expected to depart office in a month's time and put their eggs in the political basket include Health CS Mutahi Kagwe, who is expected to be the Nyeri gubernatorial race, Agriculture CS Peter Munya, who is seeking to make a comeback as Meru governor, having been forced to take a 5-year hiatus in 2017, as well as Devolution CS Charles Keter, who is also eyeing a comeback in Kericho, this time as governor. This as Cabinet Secretary Secretaries Cecily Kariuki and Simon Chelugui have also shown interest for the Nyandarua and Baringo governorship races, respectively. On the other hand, Petroleum and Mining CAS John Mosonik is in a 3-horse race alongside incumbent Hilary Barchok and former Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto for the Bomet Governor seat. His Labour counterpart Patrick Ntuntu is eyeing the Narok governorship position, while Industrialization CAS Lawrence Karanja is eyeing the Nakuru senatorship post.
Tungependa kuomba msamaha.
MPs and senators eyeing other seats, however, are an exception to the rule that has received backlash from the DP's allies. David Mudhoka, TV47, Nairobi.
Ati mumesemaje?
Elsewhere, Kenya power engineers are currently working to restore normal electricity supply in parts of Nairobi after the Suswa-Embakasi transmission line developed sustained faults this evening. This is after a day of nationwide power outrage that affected hundreds of businesses and their operations, now counting losses from the outrage that lasted close to 6 hours. Andrin Kilemi has more.
The country was plunged into darkness following a countrywide power outage early Tuesday morning after towers of the Kiambere-Embakasi transmission line collapsed. In a notice to the public, the power distributor confirmed that the Kiambere-Embakasi power line had developed faults, urging Kenyans to remain patient as they worked to restore electricity. Business operators in different sectors across the country decried the day-long power outage that affected their businesses. In Nandi County, restaurant attendants complained of bad food as a result of poor storage.
Stima inapoenda wateja wengi hupotea na vyakula vyetu huwa tunatumia stima kwa muda kutengeneza. Sasa kwa saizi tumeenda hasara zaidi ya shilingi 10,000-15,000 hivi.
We've had to do with cold showers, that is for our guests, because you know it's very hard to have a generator with the capacity to warm water unless you have the solar panels.
In Kitale County, cyber cafe operators spent the day in darkness, poking holes in the way in which Kenya Power offers its services.
Customer walikuwa wamekuja hiyo time kwa cyber wote wakarudi. Pesa bado tumepoteza.
Hii CCTVs sasa mtu haizi toka nje kwa sababu unaogopa kuwe na theft. Plus charging of phones, customers require maybe chargers.
At around 4 p.m., electricity was restored in most parts of the country, although latest updates from Kenya Power indicate that sections of Nairobi are still in darkness. Kenyans now want the government to allow private power firms to supply electricity to avoid monopoly.
The monopoly from Kenya Power should be done with. We should allow private power firms to shape the market. Let the supply and demand be the leading factor which should be considered in power supply. Actually, these outages are too much.
In May 2020, a similar outage was experienced across the country after the Olkaria towers collapsed. Andrin Kilemi, TV47.
Elsewhere, Meru Senator Mithi Muturi was earlier today released after being granted a bond of 5 million shillings with a surety of a similar amount and an alternative cash bail of 2 million shillings. Our reporter Chichi Josephine attended the proceedings and has filed the following report.
Meru Senator Mithi Muturi was arraigned before Chief Magistrate Enanyeloti in Nakuru Magistrates Court following utterances he made at a political rally in Eldoret. He has been released after being granted a bond of 5 million shillings with surety of similar amount and an alternative cash bail of 2 million shillings.
The respondent is granted a conditional bond of Kenya shillings 5 million with one surety of a similar amount. In the alternative, cash bail of Kenya shillings 2 million.
Upon his release, Mithika is expected to report to the DCI office every Friday at noon, not to make any comments about the matter in public and not to interfere with witnesses in any way for the time he'll be enjoying his freedom.
The respondent to report at the CID headquarters once a week. The respondent's free speech rights are limited, that he should not make any comments on the case under investigations, he should not conduct any witnesses, and he should not intimidate any of the witnesses, whether potential or imagined. The respondent should not conduct any of the witnesses, either through proxy or personally.
Nakuru County Jubilee leaders led by County Assembly Speaker Maina Kairo have also criticized Deputy President William Ruto's apology on behalf of Senator Mithi, saying it was not in good faith and it did not come out in a timely manner.
Nakumbuka 2007 hiyo ndio ilileta mambo ya vita, na sisi kama wakaji wa hapa Nakuru tunasema tunaikemea kabisa. Tukarudi tukaangalia jana makamu wa rais akisema kuwa akona apology, ameapologize, ati Linturi ameapologize. Lakini ukiangalia pale kwenye jukwaa hile, wakati Linturi alipomaliza kuongea, alienda akamsalamia, akamkumbatia, akampiga, akamgonga kwa mgongo. Hiyo ni kumaanisha kuwa yeye alikubaliana kabisa na matamshi yale. We want him to come out very clear and advise his people that should not happen at all. We are telling our people they should vote whichever way they want to vote. They should not be intimidated by anyone.
Sisi kama viongozi, na ili tuweze kukanya wale wengine ambao wako na mtindo wa kutamka matamshi ya uchochezi, tukionelea ni vyema Linturi na wale wengine wote ambao wameongea matamshi kama haya wakatazwe kuwania viti katika sehemu zao.
Mithi will again appear in court on January 26th for mentioning. Chichi Josephine, TV47, Nakuru.
Well, still on that note, and Kitutu Chache Member of Parliament Richard Onyonka has been set free shortly after he surrendered at the Kisii Police Headquarters. This follows a directive issued by the Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai by the Director of Public Prosecutions Nurdin Haji on grounds of making inflammatory remarks last weekend in political functions in Kisii County. Our reporter Boniface Barasa has the details.
After DCI detective trailed Meru Senator Mithi Linturi, who appeared in court today, following a directive from Director of Public Prosecution Nurdin Haji, the same fate befell Kitutu Church MP Richard Onyonka.
I will not say anything until we finish the DCI, hoping that I will not be locked in.
Onyonka surrendered himself to Kisii County DCI before he was set free and ordered to appear at DCI headquarters in Kiambu County for further interrogation.
But I've come here because I respect the law and I want to thank you. I need to go to CID headquarters in Nairobi. The truth is, I have not been given those instructions. My instructions were that I should come here. So I will wait for further instructions to decide.
His lawyers defended him, saying their client did not make any incitement statements.
If you are to ask me, there is no hate speech. There is nothing that police need to investigate over a rebuttal or a response to what was clearly provocation of other communities within the Republic of Kenya.
But even as Onyonka gets a sigh of relief, more trouble seems to come his way following accusation by Uasin Gishu County leaders led by the county's Deputy Governor, Daniel Chemno.
Mheshimiwa Onyonka, don't plant fear in the people of Gusii community. You want to plant fear so that they vote for a candidate you want. The Gusii community are spread across this country. They have married and intermarried. They are living all over. And you cannot create fear that they abandon the areas they are living to go back to Kisii.
His sentiments were echoed by a Gusii community chairman in Uasin Gishu County, David Nyambane.
Mheshimiwa Onyonka, ningependa kumhakikishia yeye na community yetu ya Wakisii wale wanaishi Eldoret, community yetu ile iko nyumbani, tunaishi kwa amani.
Kericho Senator Aaron Cheriot is also being sought by DCI detectives following a directive by Director of Public Prosecution on grounds of incitement allegations during DP Ruto rally over the weekend in Eldoret. Boniface Barasa, TV47.
Thank you, Boniface Barasa, for that report. You're watching TV47 News tonight. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to TV47 Wildlife. I am your host, Sandra Wahito. And this show lets you see the beautiful wildlife varieties and nature we have in our magical country right from your couch.
Your attention, please. Please do not smoke in the terminal building. Smoking is only permitted in the specified smoking areas. Thank you.
As entities re-strategize, as you set your resolutions, as you plan for a great year ahead, we at Morning Cafe stay true to the call. We make sure that we get you ahead so you can always stay ahead.
Looking for ways to make cash this January? Well, look no further. The Grind is here to ensure you have all the information you need. We bring you exciting successful stories of various entrepreneurs.
A typical Kenyan want results. You know, their mind are result based. They want affordability and results.
And how they managed to make it in the business industry.
The beauty about the whole thing is, apart from the challenges, you experience the challenges. The moment you get a breakthrough in the challenges, you're good to go, like you're learning every single day.
Join Violet Njoki every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on The Grind. In a world of stereotypes, we amplify their voices.
There is nothing abnormal about us. We are like any other being under the earth.
Get the fact.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get to more news now. And the contentious coalition parties bill was introduced in the Senate today, setting the stage for a grueling political battle between allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM boss Raila Odinga on one hand, and those of Deputy President William Ruto on the other. The political parties' amendment bill of 2021 was introduced for the first reading today and committed to the House Justice and Legal Affairs Committee by Speaker Kenneth Lusaka, and is expected to go through the public participation stage as the Speaker called for mature and sober debate on the bill that seeks to create political party coalitions. Our Parliamentary Affairs reporter Elizabeth Mutuku now reports.
I also want to equally
The controversial political parties bill is now headed for public participation after it was introduced in today's Senate special sitting, and various stakeholders as well as Kenyans of all walks of life are expected to give their views on the same in 10 days' time.
Ya kamati ya seneti watoe maoni na hiyo watapata muda ya kutosha kutoa hizo maoni. Hataki ionekane ya kwamba wananchi na wale washikadau wengine ambao wanaweza kuwa na maoni, isionekane ya kwamba hawakupatiwa nafasi na si nafasi tu, wamepata nafasi ya kutosha.
So we hope that the amendments will be reasonable within the scope of the form of the bill, so that if you want to amend, you normally would want to amend by either deleting a line here or adding something here and things like that. That's what we want to see. We want to see mature debate on that. Every amendment will be subjected to a vote. And so eventually it's the vote that counts.
According to Justice and Legal Affairs Committee Chairman and Nyamira Senator Okongo Omogeni, the committee will have at least 2 days next week for public participation before the committee retreats to compile its report, which will be presented in the House.
Well, you know the procedure that is there in the Constitution is that when you receive a bill from the National Assembly, the Senate has 3 options. It can agree with the bill as it is and pass it as it is. The Constitution also allows any senator to propose an amendment as long as you have the numbers, but if you don't have the numbers, then that amendment will fail and the bill will pass as it is.
A political showdown is expected in the Senate, even as the Senate leadership exudes confidence that the bill will go through without any amendments.
Hakika itapita, lakini tunataka ipite kama kila mtu amepata nafasi na kila mtu ambao ana wasiwasi ama twashishi tuzisikize, tujibu haya maswali na najua ya kwamba tutaweza kuipitisha na tuitumie katika hii kura ya mwaka huu.
As much as possible, if it were possible and the Senate can agree, this is the kind of bill that should just be allowed to, supported. Should be supported and without amendments, so that quickly it's required for purposes of this election. It is important for the purpose of this election.
Senators further calling for thorough public participation and a sober debate devoid of chaos and fist fights witnessed in the National Assembly.
Considering what happened in the National Assembly, the Republic is waiting, because what happened in the National Assembly did not give an opportunity for debate of the issues. Kenyans are still even wondering why are these people bickering over this bill. I hope, Mr. Speaker, the public participation process will be so thorough, give Kenyans an opportunity, and then when we come back here, we have a debate that is going to give confidence to the people of Kenya.
True that it's just been read the first time. Mr. Speaker, at times talk is cheap. Many times we refer to ourselves as the upper house. Mr. Speaker, an opportunity has presented itself to us through this bill that we must demonstrate to this country that indeed we are the upper house.
100 million, I vote yes.
The Political Parties Amendment Bill 2021, having been committed in the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, now all eyes are on the Senate to see whether it will pass the bill without any amendments. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47 Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth Mutuku, for that report. Moving on, ODM party leader Raila Odinga has pledged to introduce a youth fund where youth will access funds to start businesses if elected Kenya's 5th president in August. The former Prime Minister made the promise during a meeting with youth from Kiambu County. The youth endorsed his bid for presidency. Mike Kagwongo attended that meeting and has filed the following report.
As the date for the August 9th general elections fast approaches, every presidential aspirant is using every opportunity to seek support across the country. Among the recommendations in the BBI document that was declared unconstitutional by the court was the formation of a specific fund where the youth will access loans to venture into business, with the only major requirements being to start paying back the loans after 7 years. ODM party leader Raila Odinga has pledged to entrench that recommendation into his government if elected the next president in August.
And also give them access to capital so that they can be able to stage their businesses. And that's why we talked of creating a fund for the youth where they can be able to borrow money and they don't have to repay until after 7 years. When those businesses have taken off, that is when they will be required to begin to repay.
Addressing youth from Kiambu County, Odinga said more job opportunities lie in the private sector.
The private sector is now the biggest employer there. And people are paid much more money in private sector. So I've been telling our people, if you want to make money and become rich, don't go to the public sector. Public sector, you go there to serve. You don't go there to become rich.
He said the private sector has approximately 70,000 job opportunities, adding that there is need for the government to improve investment conditions in the country.
This country needs a third liberation. We have had the first liberation that brought independence to our country. Then the second liberation that gave us a new constitution. Now the third and final liberation is that of the economy. The economic liberation of our country.
We have been shown data repeatedly that these young people care about two things mainly. Number one is unemployment.
It is very important for you people, the work you are doing, for Baba, and I know he will appreciate your effort. Baba does not cheat like other people who told us, kwanza mutapata laptop.
The youth who are residents in various universities promised to work with Odinga all the way to ballot and ensure that he receives overwhelming support in Kiambu County.
We have formed sort of a caucus where we try to accumulate, or rather bring together, our numbers, especially in this campaign period.
When we learn the liberation journey that Baba has led for the young people, then we can be able to emulate and our decisions can be informed. Ama ni aje vijana.
Even as the country is heading to the next general elections, the ODM boss has gone ahead to promise Kenyans that his government will block all the loopholes currently used for corruption to get money for his projects. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Well, still in politics, and National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi, who has already declared his intention to vie for the presidential seat ahead of the August 9th general election this year, has called on Kenyans to elect accountable leaders. Muturi made the remarks after the Democratic Party of Kenya held a National Executive Committee meeting in Nairobi. Vincent Karoki with the details.
As the country prepares to head for the scheduled August 9th general election, political leaders vying for various seats continue to woo Kenyans. Speaking after a national executive meeting of the Democratic Party of Kenya here in Nairobi, which was graced by the party leader Joseph Munyao, National Assembly Speaker and also the party's presidential candidate Justin Muturi has called on Kenyans to elect accountable leaders.
Ni kuhakikisha kwamba nchi inasimama wima. There must be order and transparency in how we do things in the country. That will bring about greater accountability. I've always, as you know, advocated for accountability among leaders so that people are at liberty, you people in the media are at liberty to question our behavior, what we do, what we say, without any hindrance.
Muturi says he will vie for the presidential seat with the DP ticket following his endorsement by the party's leadership.
Mambo yote ambayo yanafanyika na mtu ambaye anaheshimu demokrasia lazima yapitie kutoka kwa chama na katika the relevant organs of the party. Today is the National Executive Committee of the Democratic Party which is meeting today. If there was anything like that, then obviously you know about it from this organ. It cannot be from me as a person, as an individual.
And he clears his vision. And we also give him a hand to walk around the country and to mix with us. We are grateful that you have all turned up here, also to welcome him home.
However, Muturi says the party is ready to work with other like-minded political parties and leaders.
Democratic Party has always worked with other like-minded parties in the past, and this time around cannot be an exception. And therefore, we as a party are open to working with other like-minded, and this is important, like-minded parties.
Muturi has urged Kenyans to register as voters following an announcement by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission on voter registration that will begin on January 17th this year.
Ningewahimiza Wakenya wote hasa vijana ambao labda hawajapata nafasi ya kujisajili kama wapiga kura, tafadhalini muhula huu ambao umepatikana, nafasi ile imepatikana kuanzia tarehe 17, tafadhali jitokeze kwa wingi upate nafasi ya kujisajili kama mpigaji kura.
Elsewhere, Westland Member of Parliament Tim Wanyonyi says he will not back down from vying for the Nairobi gubernatorial race with the ODM ticket.
Let us just make one decision that we are not going to look sideways, we are not going to relent, but this journey, as the Major has said here, we are going to go to the finishing line together. Lazima tutembee pamoja, na mimi mkinipigia kura, you'll never be disappointed. I'll make sure that whatever we have started together, we shall continue with it even when I get there. Sawa sawa?
He spoke when he held a meeting with the Lake Region traders and professionals here in Nairobi. Vincent Karoki, TV47, Nairobi.
Hello and welcome to TV47 Wildlife. I am your host, Sandra Wahito. And this show lets you see the beautiful wildlife varieties and nature we have in our magical country right from your couch.
Attention please. Please do not smoke in the terminal building. Smoking is only permitted in the specified smoking areas. Thank you.
As entities re-strategize, as you set your resolutions, as you plan for a great year ahead, we at Morning Cafe stay true to the call. We make sure that we get you ahead so you can always stay ahead.
Looking for ways to make cash this January? Well, look no further. The Grind is here to ensure you have all the information you need. We bring you exciting successful stories of various entrepreneurs.
A typical Kenyan want results. You know, their mind are result based. They want affordability and results.
And how they managed to make it in the business industry.
The beauty about the whole thing is, apart from the challenges, you experience the challenges. The moment you get a breakthrough in the challenges, you're good to go, like you're learning every single day.
Join Violet Njoki every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on The Grind. In a world of stereotypes, we amplify their voices.
There is nothing abnormal about us. We are.
Welcome back. Let's get to matters education, and 6 schools have so far been closed following the latest killings caused by bandit attacks in some parts of Elgeyo Marakwet and Baringo counties. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, a group of women from Elgeyo Marakwet have held demonstrations following the killings along the Kerio Belt.
In the last few days, this has been the situation in Baringo County. A clear indication that the residents are living in fear of losing their lives in the hands of bandits. At Chepkesin Primary School, the grown grass, empty classrooms and broken windows paint the grim picture of the state of insecurity in the area, which has greatly affected learning activities, with teachers raising concerns on the future of education in the area following the closure of 6 schools.
Wacha niomba wewe Matiang'i. Mimi kama mwalimu, mashule haya yote yamefungwa. Kuna shule inaitwa Kabwetu hapa imefungwa. Kuna shule Chepkesin hapa imefungwa. Kuna shule Kapturo pale inaelekea kufungwa.
Schools were affected. Almost the 5 schools so far, as I talk, have been closed down. Teachers have run for their lives. Even others are never known where they are.
The insecurity spate witnessed in Elgeyo Marakwet and Baringo counties has forced a group of women from Elgeyo Marakwet to hold demonstrations today following the killings along Kerio Belt that have left 64 people dead.
Watu wa Kerio Valley wasikiswe. Kwa sababu hata wewe sahi kama unafanya kazi Kerio Valley na kila siku unaambiwa John amekufa, Joseph amekufa, Paul amekufa. Hata huwezi sikia uzuri.
Tumekuwa tukisema mambo ya amani ya Kerio Valley. Tukakuja ofisi yako Mutiambai, ukatupatia watu 40 wenye watafanya kama vijana wa kuchunga mtaani. NPR. Hadi sasa hivi hatujawaona.
This comes just 3 days after an old man from Kisumet, Baringo County, was attacked and killed by bandits at his home, an incident that has continued to elicit reactions from residents.
Tunaenda masisi ya mtu mwenye ameua mtu yetu. Kila siku tunasika watu. Na hii serikali kweli? Tuko na serikali kweli?
The angry residents have called on the government to fulfill its promise of restoring peace in the area.
President ulikuja Kerio Valley, tukakuvalisha rikalia ya Marakwet, tukakufungia ya tumbo, tukakuwekea kichwa, tukijua wewe ni kichwa ya taifa utatulinda. Sasa leo hii wa mama wanasema laiti wangelijua Mr. President awange kufungia hizo vitu.
Osumba, hao watu wanakupenda. Na mimi nakuomba kwa unyenyekevu sana ndugu yangu. Uamuke kwa miguu yako. Kama Omar hawezi peleka maneno ya Marakwet constituency, wewe mwenyewe pia unajua ofisi ya rais.
Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Elsewhere, one person has sustained burns while several houses were torched following another attack reported in Mukowe area of Lamu County, with the area witnessing sustained attacks. In less than a month now, 10 people have been reported dead, with many residents now in jitters. Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho has, however, reiterated that the security operation that has been launched in the area will end the attacks and restore normalcy.
We realize there is a very well orchestrated program by whoever the perpetrators are to continue sporadic attack on the innocent people in Lamu, and that is why we decided to take a very decisive action. If you pay attention to the security operation going on there, it's massive, and we...
Now, 7 months after the disappearance of security expert Mwenda Mbinjiwe, his brother Nicholas Bundi has decided to start the journey of searching for justice, literally. Nicholas says that he walked from Meru County all the way to Nairobi to understand why investigations into Mwenda's disappearances are taking long. Our reporter Paul Kirobi met up with Nicholas at the DCI headquarters and has filed the following report.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This is Nicholas Bundi, the brother to missing security expert Mwenda Mbinjiwe. Frustration, anguish, and psychological torture made him to start walking from Meru County to Nairobi in search of justice. Bundi, who alleges he started the journey on Monday, says he used to sleep at neighbors and friends' places, holding a placard to raise awareness about Mwenda Mbijiwe.
Sasa mali nilifika makutano ya Mwea. Sasa nikaona hapa hii ni safari ya usiku, Kambiti to Kenol. That's not to Kakuzi. Iko so much secure. Kuna watu walitoka na mimi hapa. Like 10 kilometers au wengine wakaachana, another group 10 kilometers, volunteers too. Wenye wanajua Mwenda ni hivyo. Sasa kufika hapo super highway ni hivyo, sasa hapa ni kuja like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Bundi arrived in Nairobi on Thursday last week, but due to what he says are issues concerning security, he sought to sleep at other people's places in a rotational manner.
Siku ya kwanza kuna mali nilala banana, the second day Kikuyu, pipeline, Kawa West. Hivyo tu cause kuna time inafika unapigiwa simu na hizi simu hata uzijui.
He says that on Friday he went to the office of the Inspector General of Police but was referred to the Director of Communication at Nyayo House.
Sasa Director of Communication kwa IG, he talked to us. Akatuambia Mr. Moria we will take some more time, a long time, before apate ukweli, because mambo investigation hivi now you are collecting evidence. We are collecting evidence. Sasa unashangaa evidence ni gani? And then hapa unaambiwa ni file ina finaliziwa. Huko unaambiwa it is going to take some more time.
On Monday, he says he arrived at the DCI headquarters and tried to seek audience with the DCI boss George Kinoti, but his pleas fell on deaf ears as he was given the third in command at the DCI to have a conversation with.
From next week, because now I've been ordered to move, because Kinoti has flown out, I've been ordered to move out and come here next week.
He says he had to spend Monday night at the DCI headquarters to see whether he will meet Kinoti, but was told that he was out of the country. The family members feel like they are now being suckles and think there is little effort employed by the investigative agencies in solving the issue. What they don't understand is how the car that he was in on the day he went missing was handed over back to its owner before the matter is settled. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Moving on, Haron Cherono, a 50-year-old man who allegedly defiled a Standard 3 girl in Baringo, causing her death, has been sentenced to life imprisonment. Mudhoni Maina has the details.
With a white mask on, perhaps to certify his purity, at the Cabernet High Court today, 50-year-old Haron Cherono was slapped with a life sentence ruling by Chief Magistrate Judy Wanjala.
Under Section 205, the sentence provided is life imprisonment. And even under Section 8, subsection 1, the sentence provided is life imprisonment. So I don't think there is any other sentence.
This is after he was found guilty of manslaughter for defiling a Standard 3 girl, which led to her untimely death.
And I've taken into consideration the circumstances under which the crime was committed, the age of the victim, whose life was lost as a result of the crime, of the offense.
With swollen legs, an absence of hymen and chest cavity being part of the post-mortem findings, explained on the bitter part of the pain she underwent as she breathed her last straw, according to government pathologist Dr. Wangari Wambogo. Prosecutor Jose Kabjacho said that the ruling will bring many of such cases to light in the hope that the scales of justice will always play out in good favor.
Michelle is not here. The sentence will not bring Michelle back. But one thing we believe is that the sentence has spoken life in the millions of Kenyan children. Yes. It has spoken life, and many of those Kenyan children, they will stand proud knowing that if the family fails them, the government will not fail them.
The 10-year-old girl succumbed to renal dysfunction resulting from sexual assault at Sunrise Children's Home in Kabarnet in Baringo Central on July 24th last year. Muthoni Maina, TV47.
Elsewhere, 14 people, among them 6 journalists, were killed in Grisly Road accident in the neighboring country of Tanzania early Tuesday morning. The 6 journalists were in Mwanza's regional commissioner entourage who were heading to inspect government projects when the vehicle they were traveling in collided head-on with a minibus. Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has condoled with the families of the bereaved and the Tanzanian media fraternity. Mwangi Maina has the details.
Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan took to her Twitter account to express her shock following a nasty road crash that claimed the lives of 14 Tanzanians, among them 6 journalists. The journalists were part of the Mwanza Regional Commissioner's entourage when their speeding vehicle collided head-on with a minibus carrying more than 20 passengers. The accident occurred in Nyamikola area in Busega district, Simiyu province. According to the authorities who confirmed the accident, 4 journalists and their drivers plus 6 other passengers in the minibus died on the spot, while 3 others succumbed at NASA Health Center, where they had been rushed for emergency medical attention. In her message of condolence, President Samia mourned with the Tanzanian media fraternity and wished the survivors quick recovery. The journalists who perished have been identified as Johari Shani of Uhuru Media, Husna Mlanzi of ITV, Van Charles of Icon TV, Anthony Chua of Habari Leo, Abel Ngapemba and Stephen Msengi, who are communication officers, as well as a driver of the government vehicle, Paul Selenga. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Let's get to business and macro fiscal analytics snapshot under the Institute of Public Finance Kenya in partnership with the Oxford Policy Management with fundings from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation earlier today released its annual report, which is a quality research output on Kenya's economy. The report indicating that Kenya's economic damage caused by COVID-19 is worse than originally anticipated, with a downturn that leaves the GDP approximately 9% below the pre-crisis focus by 2023. Take a look.
If not, I will I have some questions of my own.
Okay, my name is Alex Mwangi.
Through the presentation and giving the issues that we have to monitor going forward.
The section that we give the update on is on the health sector funding in Kenya, and we also look at the possibility that we are going to achieve the universal health coverage, which is one of the big 4 agenda. And the numbers from this report are showing that the health sector in Kenya is primarily funded by 2 sources of income. One is the government spending, which is about 41% of total expenditure, and 26% which is coming from the out-of-pocket expenditure. So although we have seen a decline in out-of-pocket expenditure, what households have to pay, it has been declining a little bit. For example, from 30% in 2013 and has stagnated at 24% up to 2018, the most recent available data.
It's important that we have key things which we are monitoring as Kenyans, and this includes whether government sticks to its committed path for fiscal consolidation, and that's.
Elsewhere, Kenya has suspended all inbound and passenger flights from the United Arab Emirates for a period of 7 days. The suspension that took effect on Monday midnight comes days after a move by Dubai to suspend all passenger flights from Kenya due to the use of fake COVID-19 certificate by passengers. The ban, however, does not affect cargo flights. Well, from business, let's get to the world of sports. Dennis Otieno is with us. Good evening, Dennis. What do you have for us tonight?
Good evening to you, to Abubakar Abdullahi. Now, tonight we'll be